Welcome to the Lunch and Learn webinar series. We appreciate you joining us today. As you may know, ISM is now merged with SWK, so we have a lot more people attending these webinars. Welcome, everyone. We're glad to have you here. SWK also has the largest Sage affiliate VAR program, so we would also like to welcome all of our PSP customers. If you have any questions on the SWK and ISM merger or any of our other programs, please let us know. My name is Sherry Palumbo, and I'm one of your SWK customer account managers. It's my pleasure to introduce our presenter today. Today, we're going to be looking at the new era of customer fulfillment, EDI integration for today with our own channel sales engineer, Peter Koska. Just a few housekeeping items. All lines will be muted during the presentation. If you have a question, please type it into the chat box or the question pane on your GoToWebinar sidebar and hit send at any time during this webinar. Note that the webinar will also be recorded and distributed after the presentation for your convenience. You will receive a follow-up email with a link to the recording. Without further ado, let me turn this over to Peter so we can get started. Peter, welcome. It's all yours.
All right. Thank you, Sherry. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We look forward to providing these webinars to really increase your knowledge of all the different solutions that the SWK family can provide. So as Sherry mentioned, we're going to be talking about the new era of customer fulfillment and how EDI can really play a role in that new era. So without further ado, we'll first we'll talk about who MAPADOC is and who we are. So MAPADOC has been integrating EDI fulfillment for over 20 years. And so we have extensive knowledge in the EDI space. We have dedicated teams across North America. So no matter where you are, you're going to have a consultant and a support team in your area. So we have teams that are focused on sales support, delivery, customer management, development, and product management. And not only are we distributed across North America, we also have a global presence. We do have clients and resources in Australia as well as in the UK. So no matter where you are or your divisions of your companies are, we are able to support your growth from an EDI perspective. And so not only do we have EDI experience, we also have a deep knowledge of your ERP solution. So, typically, our clients are on the Sage solutions, and we are just starting an Acumatica solution as well. So welcome to all the different solution or systems out there on the webinar. Last but not least, we are the Sage certified solution for enterprise management, otherwise known as Sage X3. So we are definitely knowledgeable of the X3 environment, as we had to go through a lot of testing and certification processes with the Sage folks. So with that, what we'll do is we'll just go through a quick agenda of what we're going to be talking about today. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the new trends in fulfillment and really how that's going to affect you and your business as a supplier. And we'll then move into MAPADOC's role in that fulfillment process. Talk about upstream and downstream trading partner relationships, and then we'll talk about the typical MAPADOC customer. Who do we usually see that needs MAPADOC to increase their business process efficiencies. And then finally, we'll talk about how do you engage the MAPADOC team, and then we'll open it up for questions. So I hope it's a good use of our time here today. And without further ado, we'll talk about some trends in fulfillment. So really what this means is, we have growing requirements that are being put on all of our retail suppliers. And I presume most of you out there are supplying to those retail partners. And so, first we'll start with what is fulfillment for those who don't know. Right. So it's, really it's just an end-to-end process of fulfilling an order to the consumer. And so it includes orders, shipments, payments, and returns. And so there are a lot of EDI documents that go back and forth between the retail partners and their suppliers. And we'll touch on the kind of the new trends that are coming down the pike in the fulfillment or retail industry. And really, one of the big drivers is, I'm sure you've heard of it, is going to be the Amazon effect. And so what the Amazon effect is essentially it's an ongoing evolution and disruption of the retail market, both online and in physical outlets. And really what this does is it's resulting from an increase in e-commerce. And so, during this webinar, we're going to talk about, what does this mean to you, and how does this affect, our MAPADOC customers right now? And really, what type of, ways should we be thinking to make sure that we're going to be, relevant in the upcoming years in the retail market? And then finally, how does MAPADOC and EDI really support these trends within the fulfillment or retail market? So what does this mean to you? So really the Amazon effect is really driving a lot of this change in the retail market. And it's not really from Amazon, it's from the consumer's perspective. So, even if you're not a supplier to retailers right now and you're on this webinar, I hope, actually I know that you're a consumer. So we are all affecting this change in the retail market. And really it's because, we as consumers, we're more discriminating, right? And what I mean by that is, we're going out and we have so many options online that we're discriminating in the sense that we are most likely not going to buy something unless we go online and review it before. So I know I'm very, I read reviews before I go and I make a final purchase. So we are constantly looking for more information about the products and services that we're going to be buying. And that's what we mean by today's consumer is more discriminating. And the reason that we can be more discriminating is because we have more options. And not only do we have more options, we want more options, right? So as consumers, you can imagine you go on to Amazon, it's essentially an endless aisle of products that you can purchase. And so we've, Amazon has kind of helped condition us as consumers to really expect that. So, if we don't find the product that we want, we're going to go to the next website that has that product. So really, we want all of the options at our fingertips. And so what is this really doing in the sense of, from fulfillment? It's, we need to be able to bring those products to those consumers in more ways. Essentially, we're going to be fulfilling in many different ways. And so, you can imagine that right now you can go onto a website and order a product that will be shipped directly to your store, and you go pick it up. You can order a product, it will be directly shipped to your home. It can be directly shipped to your office. So there are a plethora of ways that retail suppliers need to comply and really, to get that product to the end consumer. And so, again, we as consumers are demanding that flexibility from our retail suppliers. And so from a fulfillment standpoint, you need to have a system that's going to be able to allow you to fulfill in all those different order management models, right? So directly to the stores, to distribution centers, to the home, you need to be capable of doing that if you want to play in today's retail market. So I kind of touched on this, what does this mean to you as a retail supplier? First and foremost, we need to find more products to put into our product mix, right? So Amazon, as you know, has an endless aisle. Walmart, .com is also doing that, right? So you could scroll down for days and find almost unlimited amount of products on those websites. And so what do we need to do in order, to compete in today's world is we need to source more products. We need to have more options within our own product mix in order to be front and center when the consumer is looking for a specific product online. And so not only having more products is what we need to do to compete, but we also need to know more about our products. And what I mean by that is, these specific attributes that these websites and these algorithms are really kind of keying off of. So you need to know the size, the weight, the color. Does this specific product work with another product, maybe a complementary product. So, just think about going on Amazon and looking at all the different attributes that are supplied for a single item, right? And then multiply that by your whole inventory, right? So we need to know what type of characteristics or attributes that all of these different websites are requiring in order to even comply or even to be on their website and to have the potential to sell your item to a consumer. So we need to know more about these products, and we need to store them in searchable formats. And then finally, again, we need to fulfill our product in different ways, right? So we need to be able to send to the store, we need to send to the consumer. Not only does it affect the way that you're shipping your products, it's also going to affect the way you're sourcing. Maybe you need to source your products from different areas in order to gain that competitive advantage or to bring more products into your product mix. So the ever demanding consumer, and I'm raising my hand here right now because I am guilty. I expect 2-hour shipments. I expect next day delivery and things like that. So we're not making it easy as consumers for these retail suppliers, and compliance is really the name of the game, just to get your foot in the door. And then how do you set yourself apart from your other competitors? And it's really being able to fulfill on these Amazon type websites and within the ship windows. And finally, kind of a newer phase of the fulfillment trend is really knowing what products are selling. This is essentially sharing point of sale data with your retail partners to really get a better view of sell-through rates and where do I need to order more product and so forth. So for an example, we have some clients out there that are sharing point of sale data with their retail partners, and they will know that there is a shortage of item 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Pacific Northwest before they're out of stock. So what that is really doing is we're utilizing this technology to then replenish that item into the distribution centers that are closest to the to the potential stockouts. So really what we're doing is we're utilizing data to help work for us and streamline our efficiencies and make our lives a little bit easier from a supplier's perspective. All right. So hopefully that gave you a pretty good overview of the newest trends that we're seeing in the fulfillment landscape. I know it's not that new, but it is something that is here to stay. So we need to make sure that we're helping our retail supply customers accomplish the requirements to really fulfill to these websites and into these different order management models, and also really just to compete in today's retail landscape. So how does integrated EDI with MAPADOC manage fulfillment? So historically, you would have a trading partner request that they want to start trading EDI with you, and it looks something like this. You'd go out, you have a brick and mortar store, you have e-commerce stores, all wanting to trade EDI with you. You would go out and connect to them through different communication methods, and then you would go through a certification and testing process to bring those orders into your system, and then send test documents back out and test directly with those retailers. Once that communication gateway is essentially opened up between you and your retailer would then start sending those orders directly through EDI, right? So MAPADOC is going to help manage all of those components to get you set up and up and running with your retail trading partners, distributors, 3PLs, really anyone that's going to be capable of sending those EDI documents, right? And so how does a typical EDI environment look, right? So it's going to, I'm just going to let the slide change here. There we go. So what are the components of EDI, really? So there are 4 basic pillars of EDI. One is going to be the connectivity, right? So setting up that communication layer between you and your trading partner. Those could be VANs, those could be AS2 softwares, or a simple FTP exchange. The next step is really going to be mapping those EDI requirements, right? So what I mean by that is each individual retailer has a specific requirement of how they want to send their purchase order. And as an EDI trading partner, you need to comply with the way they're going to send you those documents, and then vice versa on the outbound. When you're sending those documents back to your trading partners, you need to comply with their specific standards, right? So you need to map those standards into your EDI software or to your EDI solution. And then you're actually going to have to translate that raw EDI data into a file format that can be consumed by your system of record, right? So a system of record is, your Sage 100, your Sage 100C, your Sage 500, Enterprise Management, or Acumatica. And so really, there's the first 3 aspects are really just kind of massaging that data, getting it into a format that then can be consumed by your ERP. And then the final component is really integrating that layer directly integrating that data, into your system of record, right? So when you receive a purchase order, it comes into your sales order, or it comes into your purchase order modules, looking the way that you would need it to, essentially taking all that manual entry off of your plate. And then vice versa on the way back, we'll be taking that information out of your system and then reverse engineering, right? So translating it back into an EDI format, which then can go back to your trading partner. So really the name of the game is essentially just creating a communication gateway that allows you to transact business data with your trading partners in a seamless fashion. So how does MAPADOC help you do that, right? So MAPADOC actually can handle all of those components of the EDI with our various partners. So we have a seamless integration for all of the components that I just talked about. When you sign off on a project with us, we go through an extensive business process review with you to make sure that we're aligning not only the EDI requirements, but with your specific business relationship requirements within your ERP. So if there's any cross references, or if there's any special terms that you have with your trading partners, we want to make sure that we're identifying those up front in our business process review, making sure we're accounting for anything that we need to be aware of during the implementation process. And so again, we manage this business transaction based off of your customer, based off of your need, right? So if you have a unique relationship with Amazon, or you have a unique relationship with Target, we need to make sure that we're not disrupting your business process by implementing EDI. Well, EDI is really a tool to help streamline your business process and create efficiencies within your fulfillment order to cash cycle. And so, as I mentioned, we do have a seamless integration with Sage 100. As you can see here, some screenshots of Sage 100. It's directly embedded within your environment, so it's going to look and feel just like any other module that you utilize. So the big benefit of that is, you're not having to go from Sage to a different user interface to bring in your EDI orders. Everything's just going to come right into Sage, into your specific modules. And then we also have Sage 500. So again, directly embedded within your environment. So it's, from a user's perspective, the training is going to be much easier. The look and feel, we even use the same color scheme. So, it's not going to be any different than your modules that you're already utilizing. Then we also have Sage X3, or Enterprise Management. Again, we are the certified solution for Enterprise Management. So we are embedded directly within that instance as well. And then our newest integration is going to be with Acumatica. So again, you can kind of hear the common theme. We're directly embedded within your system of record, right? So we want to make it easy for you and your team to transact your EDI orders, and everything is going to happen directly from your system of record. right, so some features and benefits here with MAPADOC. Again, I kind of touched on these. It's going to be easy to use. You have, as long as you have knowledge of your ERP system, it's, we're going to follow the same process flows as your ERP. We have data validation on the inbound. So since we are written in the same language as your ERP system, we're able to validate a lot of data coming. So we can look at price discrepancies. We can look at ship-to location codes, as well as item codes. So if your trading partner is sending in an invalid item, we'll flag that for you, making sure that you're aware that, hey, this is not an item that you have set up in your system of record. And then finally, we provide powerful reporting tools, that are beneficial for your team. So as you go through your fulfillment process, you're going to have the reports and the reporting tools to assist you to make those those crucial decisions based off of actionable data. All right, so next we just wanted to talk about some of the capabilities as far as documents that MAPADOC can help streamline within your environment. So going back to the fulfillment process, we help suppliers to the retail industry, as well as people that are purchasing product as well. So from an upstream and downstream mentality, we can help both sides of the retail equation, right? So whether you're receiving purchase orders from your retail partners or you're sending purchase orders to your suppliers, MAPADOC has the functionality to transact those EDI documents back and forth. And we also integrate with 3PL or third-party logistics providers as well. That's actually becoming a growing trend in the industry, where a lot of people don't want to keep their inventory in their own warehouse. They want to contract that out to a third-party warehouse. A lot of these warehouses have EDI capabilities that help streamline their process within their own warehouse. So they, a lot of these 3PLs are asking their partners to trade EDI with them. And so MAPADOC does have the capability to do that. And so as far as the whole retail fulfillment picture, MAPADOC is able to assist you in transacting those EDI documents with your retail partners downstream, as well as your suppliers upstream. So as far as a growth and scalability, that's definitely something you want to take a look at when you're looking at EDI options. Making sure that the solution you pick is able to scale with you, not only for today, but for any future requirements that you may have down the line. So with that, I just wanted to mention, hopefully it's been clear, a typical MAPADOC customer, and when is MAPADOC a good fit? And so typically, our customers are in that retail landscape, right? So they're trading with big box stores such as Sam's Club, Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, any retailers such as Walmart, Macy's, JCPenney's, Kohl's. Grocery products as well also utilize EDI standards. So Whole Foods, Safeway, Kroger. I know food distribution is a large vertical within the enterprise management space. So we have seen a lot of food distributors coming in, in that regard. So, MAPADOC can handle the grocers' EDI requirements as well. And then our customers also are, trading with .com players, such as Amazon, Wayfair, Jet.com. And again, we're seeing more and more, kind of traditional business models moving into that .com space, where, even if you're selling some type of food product, if it's non-perishable, you're going to be on Amazon, right? You're going to be selling beef jerky on Amazon. You're going to be selling pretty much anything on Amazon these days. So we're seeing a lot of our clients move toward those type of trading partners as well. And then also through mandatory web portals such as Commerce Hub. So there are some online retailers out there, such as like Bed Bath & Beyond, that require you to go through their Commerce Hub portal. MAPADOC can comply with that as well. And then, as I mentioned, we do work with third-party logistics companies. And this is really a big, growing space within the EDI community. As I mentioned, a lot of 3PLs or third-party logistics companies are finally getting their EDI capabilities, in line with the rest of the industry. So we're seeing a lot more connections out to those 3PLs. And finally, what I wanted to end with, end the webinar with, is really just how to engage the MAPADOC team. And so, if you are, a company that, either you have EDI requirements today, maybe you're utilizing a manual process where you're going out to a web portal, you're entering that information in into your ERP, and then invoicing out of your ERP, and then going back to that web portal and essentially double entering that invoice back into that web portal. MAPADOC is definitely going to help save that your team significant amounts of time. Really just eliminating that double entry of purchase orders, of invoices, of advanced ship notices. So that's going to be definitely an opportunity to at least reach out to us, see if there's a way that we can help streamline your EDI processing. Another opportunity is maybe you're not doing EDI today, but you do work with some of those big box retailers, or you're in the retail supply chain. Reach out to us, and we'll cross-check your trading partner list with their EDI capabilities, and maybe it's just something to think about, where you can go and say, hey, we can streamline our process here, and maybe push the kind of push the idea onto your retailers. And then, finally, how do you engage the MAPADOC team? First and foremost, I would definitely recommend reaching out to your assigned customer account manager or your CAM, or you can send us, inquire directly to us at MAPADOC through sales@mapadoc. And so with that, I wanted to go ahead and open it up for questions. So Sherry, if you want to open the line for questions.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for that informative and insightful content that you covered today. I really appreciate that. I'm not seeing any questions in the question pane or the chat window, so I am opening the lines for questions as we speak. There's quite a few of you out there, so give me a moment to get that open. Okay, all lines are open. Do we have any questions today? Okay, I'm not hearing any questions. So if something does come up or you do have a question, please feel free to reach out to your CAM, or you can, if you're not sure who your CAM is, just email CAMteam, that's CAMTEAM @swktech.com. So we can get your CAM to answer any questions and help you with whatever you may need. Just a reminder that you will get sent a follow-up email that will contain a link to this recording of the webinar and a survey. Please complete that survey so that it gets back to us and we can better hone our webinars to your needs. So with that, I'm going to close out today's webinar. Please take a look at our schedule. We have a few more coming up this month. We thank you for your time in joining us today. And Peter, we thank you very much for taking your time to present to us today. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.